let's move on. I want to talk about this subject of the vaccine and, Richard, whether or not the Queen will say if she's had it. Well, what do you make of that? Surely it would be an amazing ad for the nervous people if she were to front up and say that she'd had it.
I think it really would. I mean, I find the palace's treatment of this subject totally bemusing because, you know, a lot of people don't realise, but the Queen played a key role in the 1950s when there was a lot of serious concerns about the polio vaccine. And she made a point of making it public that Prince Charles and Princess Anne, who I think were about 6 and 8 at the time, were going to get the vaccine. And apparently that played a key role in helping swing opinion generally in favour of the vaccine.
I mean, that's fascinating. That's an amazing precedent, you know, against all this sort of, we don't get political. What do you think, Angela?
Well, I think the Duke's coming up to be 100 in the summer, and perhaps he doesn't want it because he feels his life should ease out naturally.
Oh, that's fascinating. So you think he may not have actually had it?
He may not have had it, and he may not want it. He's quite a determined man. And I think maybe even the Queen feels a similar way. And I think that they also understand that whatever they do will make a huge amount of publicity and take the spotlight away from what's happening and the vaccinations arriving and people trying to get appointments, that they would either be favoured or it's outrageous and see what's happening that's so wrong that they haven't got it yet. So it's best if they keep that quiet.
I wondered if they were worried about sort of any accusations of being overprivileged and being bumped up the queue.
Well, yes. The thing is, loads and loads of people aged over 80 have now had it. So other people living where they do in Berkshire, you know, will have had the vaccine. So I don't think that's an issue now. I do know that Prince Philip in the past has been very sensitive about revealing medical details. So they may think if they start giving information about this, then they have to give other details that they don't necessarily want to.
I don't think we care as much about other things as we do this coronavirus vaccine,
but if
do we?
you're 99 and a half, how much longer have you got to live? I mean, do you want even the most minor side effect from a vaccination? I quite understand that he wants to just step back from that, stay very in self-isolation, away from people and just the Queen, and I quite understand
but
that.
If what you're saying is true, I mean, it's quite explosive, because what it would mean also is that it could be very hard for the Queen and, well, the Duke of Edinburgh is retired now anyway, but for the Queen, if she didn't have the vaccine, to sort of return to royal duties, really.
Yes, I mean, I think that is an issue, and I think maybe they're still totting up what they should do. I think many people are anxious about this and need time to really assess. There's no rush because at the moment they're isolating.
But do you think there'll be government pressure? I mean, because I feel like perhaps the palace is missing a trick in not being part of the PR drive.
Well, a month or two before Christmas, we had a lot of stories appeared about how the Queen and Prince Philip would get the vaccine. And apparently that caused a bit of a backlash at the palace because they didn't like the suggestion. I think this was briefing that was coming from the government, and they didn't like the idea that they were being sort of pushed or bullied into releasing medical details, and there does seem to have been a bit of a backlash to that as well. So it's really, the subject's really intriguing and controversial.
I mean, I think their lives have been in the public eye for so many decades that I think they're quite entitled to keep this to themselves. It's not our business, really. We've all got to make up our own minds about these things.
But Angela, I guess some people would say that their lives have been in the public eye for all of these decades because they are quite literally public property, taxpayers, a tax-paying
Yeah, that's true.
entity.
But the Queen this year and last year now, when she feels the public need her to speak, she's spoken brilliantly, and she's spoken to give us hope and to give us comfort. I don't think she has to tell us what to do. I think there's a very big difference to that. I think Harry and Meghan have been lecturing us, and we haven't liked it one bit. The Queen doesn't do that. She's almost like an extension to some people's family. You know, we listen to her and what she's got to say, and she's always spot on right. But it's strangely emotional and very helpful and comforting. I think that's where she succeeds.
Well, it definitely is sounding like we will never know. So let's move on.